how sugar affects your hormones. And what I was saying is that your hormonal balance is like a beautiful symphony. Like there's the pianist, and there's the violinist, and there's the harp, or whatever. It's all the pieces to the symphony, and your hormones are like a beautiful symphony. They all play off of each other. Think about a beautiful piece of music. It all plays off of each other. And if one of the instruments is off, not on the right beat or whatever, the song doesn't sound the same. So this is how your hormones work in your body. So sugar affects your hormones because it can it's like a piece of the instrument. Okay, it messes up some of the hormones if we have too much going on. So I'm going to talk about three ways that affects your hormones specifically, and a couple of hormones that are at play. Two specifically. One is insulin. Insulin is the fat storing hormone. It's the hormone responsible for taking blood sugar, which, by the way, is everything that you eat and drink, everything, whether it's protein, fat, or carbohydrate, or pure sugar, whatever it is, everything eventually ends up in the same place. It ends up, well, not necessarily in the same place, but it ends up as sugar in your blood system. Okay, it's called glucose. That's why diabetics and pre-diabetics are monitoring their blood sugar levels, because they don't want it to go over a certain amount. Why? Because their insulin capacity isn't handling the blood sugar anymore. When we're healthy, when we're younger and we're healthy, and we're not that we're not healthy older, but when we're younger, our bodies are just more efficient, right, at handling all these things. And we don't feel the effects like we do as we get older and we're in our perimenopause to menopausal years. Then our hormones are are out of whack anyway. And so we're just adding insult to injury. And we have a perfect storm for weight gain and all the other issues surrounding menopause. So here's what's going on when we have blood sugar we have too high of a blood sugar. Insulin is responsible. It's the hormone. It's manufactured by the adrenal gland. It's put out by the liver. It's responsible for going into the getting the I'm such a trouble describing this today. It's responsible going out to the bloodstream, grabbing the blood sugar and getting it into the cells where it's needed for energy. That's why I always say food is fuel, because it's your gas. It's taking the gas to the parts that needs it so the car will run. So I know I'm full of analogies today. These are just coming off the top of my head. But think of it that way. This is fuel. Food is fuel. So you need it. But when it's really quickly, when your diet is too high in sugar and simple carbs, then you are constantly calling on this insulin. Insulin is overworking. It's like, wait. So it gets the blood sugar, it gets it to the cells, what's not needed for energy. Okay, energy. Now, first of all, let me back up. Your body needs a certain amount of energy. Calories equals energy, right? Calories equals energy. So we all have what's called a basal metabolic rate. It's the energy that we need to breathe, for our digestive system to work, for our heart to pump, all those things. So that's basal metabolic rate. You're just sleeping. Basal metabolic rate. As you go through the day, you use more energy, right? You're moving around more. If you work out, you're using a lot more energy. If you're under stress, you're using more energy. I mean, there's just but we all have a basal amount. We all need a basal amount, which is why I very much dislike and disapprove of low calorie diets. Like they just mess up your metabolism. So avoid them. If you're eating 1,000 calories or less, you're barely know first of all what your basal metabolic rate is. And if you there's just go on a website, go Google it. How do I figure out my basal metabolic rate? Or you could ask a dietitian like me. It's part of what I do when I work with my clients. That's the first place we start. Let's start with your basal metabolic rate, and then we go from there. If your goal is to lose weight, then we go from there. All right. So do you all understand? Okay. So insulin grabs the sugar in the blood, takes it to the cells needed for energy. What isn't needed gets stored as fat. That's all you need to know. That's enough. Okay. The other hormone that's at play that is often cause for concern is cortisol. Cortisol is also known as the stress hormone. Okay, the stress hormone. What cortisol does is if the carb tolerant, if you're overshooting, you have too much sugar in your blood system too quickly, insulin levels rise quickly. Within an hour or so, you crash and crave, then your cortisol spikes. So cortisol will spike. Insulin is cortisol is spiking. It causes a tug of war between insulin and cortisol. And remember, insulin's job is to lower the blood sugar. Cortisol's job is to raise it, because cortisol is our fight or flight hormone. It's like if in prehistoric days, or how ancient days, if a lion was chasing you, and you were cave days, let's say we're caveman days, if a lion's chasing you, you're gonna go, "Ooh, I gotta get out of here," and you're gonna run. You're gonna need more energy to run really fast. Okay, that's cortisol comes in. Cortisol raises your need for more, so it raises your blood sugar level. How does it affect your hormone? High cortisol leads to low progesterone in women and low testosterone in men. But in women, we're all women here, I think low progesterone in women, it causes cortisol to compete for the receptors with hormones, and cortisol will always win. Cortisol will always win. So you have a tug of war going on between insulin and cortisol will win. Okay, so it will cause further fat storage around the middle. Okay, because insulin has to give up. Says, okay, I'm out of here. You can have it. The third way that our hormones are affected by this tug of war between insulin and cortisol is with our sleep pattern. So here's where we get into another vicious cycle and why sleep is so important to maintaining hormonal balance. It's difficult sometimes when you're having trouble sleeping because you're having hot flashes, right? But here's how it works. If the blood sugar is too high, let's say you eat a nice meal and your blood sugar is too high, cortisol can make it difficult for you to fall asleep, because remember I said it's already won the battle with insulin. In this scenario, you can either you can't power it down. You just lay there for hours trying to fall asleep. So that's not good. On the flip side, if your blood sugar is too low and you don't have adequate cortisol reserves for a good response to restore the balance, then you might wake up in the middle of the night, might fall asleep, but you're going to wake up in the night. Anybody have that problem? You go to sleep okay, your head hits the pillow and you go to sleep, but then you wake up a couple hours later and you can't go back to sleep. So that could be messing with your sleep that way. The lack of sleep then causes these two hormones to push further out of balance, and it results in hormonal chaos. Okay. How many of you have had a sleepless night? You've woken up in the night, or you haven't been able to fall asleep, and then you get up in the morning, and what's the first thing you want to do? Drink coffee and eat carbs. Usually drink coffee and eat carbs. So that is what will happen when your hormones get out of balance. You have all kinds of negative symptoms like crazy energy highs and lows. You have higher cravings for carbs and sugars. You feel hungry right after you eat, for example. You have difficulty getting to sleep or staying asleep. You have mood swings, and you have excess weight, especially belly fat weight. So those are symptoms of hormonal blood sugar imbalance. Hormonal imbalance usually caused by blood sugar imbalance. If that makes sense. So if we can fix that by stabilizing our blood sugars, let's do that, because then we'll feel better, right? So what does that look like? It looks like this. It looks like, let's not eat sugar. And if we do eat sugar, make sure we eat it with a protein and a fat, so we don't have a spike, so we have something to kind of balance out the whole thing. So I teach my clients what's a simple system called PFC and F. PFC and F. It's protein, fat, carbohydrate, and fiber. Okay. If you make sure you eat 5 to 6 smaller meals with protein, fat, carbohydrate, good carbohydrate, and fiber, then you're going to be able to maintain a better blood sugar balance. So you're going to be able to stop this chaos with cortisol and insulin. Does that make sense? I hope so, because that's what works. That's what works. Not eating. Some people like to not eat breakfast and lunch, and then they go all day, and then they say, well, I haven't eaten all day, so I'm going to eat dinner. And I'm going to eat whatever I want because I haven't eaten all day. And then they eat whatever they want, and they give their system this big rush of food, aka glucose. It all goes to glucose. And then insulin has to overwork. Cortisol comes out and goes, hey, what's going on? And you see what I'm saying? It's a mess. So it's easy to fix. It does involve eating less refined sugar and processed foods. So always having a balance, a PFC balance. And then fiber helps too, because fiber helps your gut to be able to absorb things better and keeps everything working better. So PFC and F. Protein from meat or nuts or beans, poultry, eggs. If you're vegan, there's ways to do that to get your protein. Get your protein and focus on protein. For women, we need more protein in general. Why? Also for the muscle building effects of protein. We'll never have crazy big muscles like the boys. So some women are afraid of that. But having enough protein to sustain our metabolism, okay? Because as we age, what's also going on, creating more perfection to the storm, is our metabolism is slowing down. Our thyroid isn't maybe working as well. Always get your thyroid checked too, by the way, because the thyroid is your metabolic thermostat. So when it's the hormone that's responsible for regulating your metabolism. So if it's not working well, then, it's even worse. The other thing that's really common in women, and I forgot to mention it's on my notes, is talk about adrenal fatigue. Very, very common in women leading up to menopause. And what's going on there is that adrenal gland is becoming overworked. And so it starts to shut down. It leads to a lot of fatigue and a lot of stress, which causes the cortisol to, it's just all the things, right? Okay, so sugar and refined carbs are creating stress in the body, okay, which is causing you to have imbalances. So the symphony is out of tune, if you will. All right. So, how would you like to feel better? So, when you are more balanced, you'll feel stable energy levels throughout the day. Stable energy levels throughout the day. You won't have highs and lows. So, before, several years ago, when I was trying to figure all this out, my pattern was I would have bursts of energy in the morning, and then I would just go into this afternoon slump. Like I couldn't get through the day. Like I just couldn't, I wasn't productive after probably 2 or 3 o'clock. Now I'm more even keeled. I can maintain my energy much longer because I'm fueling my body in a different way that keeps things more balanced. I maybe should look for questions over here. Let me see. Fast forward replay to 11:30 to get to hear Leslie start over. Okay. Thank you for that. I will, once I go off of StreamYard, they won't see those comments, but I'll note that and I'll make a comment in there. I'm not a fan of getting older and feeling the hot moments. Eek. Yeah. Yes, when I work out and don't eat, you get lightheaded. That's not a good sign either. Always do eat something light before your workout. Eat something light before your workout. It's not good to not have some fuel. Fuel yourself with, like, my favorite thing is maybe a half a banana, or not even a half, like a small piece of banana and some peanut butter. Just give yourself some energy. A hard-boiled egg, and a little something carb. The banana is the carb, the peanut butter is the fat, and the egg is the protein. See how that works? Back pain. That can't be fun either. Yeah, that's a different problem. All right. So anyway, so you'll have more stable energy levels throughout the day. You'll have very little food cravings. I'm going to talk more tomorrow about food cravings in general and sugar cravings and what's going on there and what some things that you can do to deter cravings, including some supplements, a supplement in particular that I particularly love. Sleeping well, waking up more refreshed, having more stable moods, and having less belly fat. So if any of that sounds good to you, then stay tuned because we're going to do some more tomorrow. We're going to, as I said, go into more depth on sugar cravings. And yeah, and then over the weekend, then on Monday, I'm planning to do a live Q&A, kind of a hot seat coaching, if you will. So this would be your opportunity on Monday to get all your questions answered and get more direction from me. And then I will be unveiling a new program that I'm excited to start. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow. And tomorrow, by the way, I'm going live at 12 noon instead of 2. So my morning appointment canceled, and I'll be able to go on live at 12 noon instead of 2. So earlier is better for Friday, right? Because probably Friday afternoon, you want to get on with things, get your weekend started. I know I do. So let's do 12 o'clock tomorrow. I will see you here. And just want to see if there's anything else in here. Oh, see, Karen, thank you for putting your name. And yeah, I don't see any other questions, but glad you could finally hear me. Thank you for letting me know. 11 minutes in is when we hear sound. that what I saw? Yes, 11.3. All right, you guys, you have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you in the group tomorrow. Today's homework, your assignment is snap a picture of your log sheet. Right here, where is it? You know, the little sheet that we're keeping track of. I'd also love some feedback on the menus. Are you trying any of the recipes? Did you try, did I put that yesterday? I can't remember what the homework was yesterday. I think it was to find a healthy snack swap. And maybe today's is to find a recipe. Yeah. So post a picture, if you will, of your worksheet that you've been filling out. Here it is. This one. Your Shake the Sugar worksheet. This is from my 5-day Shake the Sugar challenge, but we're doing 4 days because of Labor Day. And we're doing our 5th day on Monday as a bonus. Just, because. But anyway, it's just a way to keep track. I'd love to snap your pictures of that and post them in the group. Remember, I am going to be doing some drawings on Monday. I'm doing a drawing for, I'm calling it the Queen of Sharing. Who shared me the most? Who invited the most friends to the group? So if you did invite anyone to the group, be sure that I know that you did. I can usually tell by the requests for them to join who invited them in. And also just participation, who is here the most participating. Be sure you're on the live tomorrow. I am doing a special drawing tomorrow for an Amazon gift card, only for the people on the live. Okay, so tomorrow at 12 noon. I will see you then, and have a beautiful evening. All right, talk to you later. Thanks for joining me today.